Decatur's interim police chief is weighing in for the first time with additional details about a use of force incident that began with a 911 call on Tuesday and escalated to the use of a taser. The case involves a man who showed signs of mental health crisis. He is now hospitalized following medical emergency while in custody. The incident happened here at Brook Ridge Apartments in Southwest Decatur. Officers responded to the two separate calls involving 38-year-old John Daniel Scott Jr. The first call came from his mother, who was concerned about a dispute over her cell phone. But by the end of the day, the situation had escalated into a physical struggle with police and later a serious medical emergency after Scott was taken to jail. We warn you, some of the images you are about to see are graphic. Interim Chief Natus Carlisle Jr. says in a statement on Saturday that the first 911 call on April 15th came from Paulette Tennyson. She told dispatchers her adult son, John Daniel Scott Jr., wouldn't return her cell phone. Minutes later, she called again, saying the issue was resolved. Still, an officer went to check the scene to make sure Tennyson was safe. Police say that's standard procedure for domestic calls, since it's not uncommon for someone to take a phone to prevent help from being called. When officers arrived, Tennyson said she wasn't in danger, but expressed concern that her son was off his medication and possibly experiencing a mental health episode. She said people who don't know him might not recognize the signs, noting that when he talks excessively, it can signal a breakdown. Chief Carlisle states that later that same day, officers were called back to the same apartment complex. This time, police say Scott's behavior appeared more erratic and was possibly influenced by drugs. Officers called an ambulance and tried several times to convince Scott to go to the hospital voluntarily. EMS crews also evaluated him on the scene, but determined he didn't meet the legal threshold for forced transport. Police then confirmed a warrant for Scott through Morgan County. They say he was given a choice to go to the hospital voluntarily or be taken into custody.
Well, listen, this is what we're going to do, okay? Because we're wasting their time.
Way too much, bro.
All right, listen, you're going to go with them, yes or no? Because if you don't,
I got you.
When he refused both, officers moved to arrest him. Police say Scott physically resisted, and officers used a taser, delivered physical strikes, and performed a takedown in order to gain control. Scott was taken to the Morgan County Jail, where he continued resisting during the booking process. According to Decatur police, after being placed in a cell, officials say he began showing signs of medical distress. Jail staff called an ambulance and Scott was taken to Decatur Morgan Hospital there. Police say he experienced a medical emergency that required life-saving treatment. Chief Carlisle says officials believe Scott may have suffered from what's known as excited delirium, a potentially life-threatening condition sometimes associated with drug use or severe mental health episodes. Medical professionals will make the final determination. In the statement, Carlisle said the department immediately launched an internal investigation and is cooperating fully with the Morgan County Sheriff's Office, medical staff, and any relevant oversight agencies. Scott's current condition has not been made public. The Decatur Police Department says it will provide updates as more information is verified. Chief Carlisle says he's in contact with the family while closely monitoring Scott's condition. This latest situation comes in the midst of the city's search for a permanent chief after years of criticism and scrutiny, much of it stemming from the shooting death of a homeowner during a vehicle repossession. The officer who fired those deadly shots is awaiting trial for murder.